SDPP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
What are we going to talk about? Not
Practice.
the league game.
Hey.
Not yet. Not yet.
World War II.
Not that either.
Yep.
Well, first off, I do want to do this is why I love our listeners so much. David B. I won't give his full name because he has not consented that. But David B.
David Banner.
Bulbasaur.
David Banner. That's right.
David Banner. Yeah.
Brother of Bruce Banner.
Yep.
So the incredible David Hulk has given up his Kingston Frontenac's VIP package, and so what we decided to do was upgrade within the people that had purchased.
Mm-hmm.
So David B, thank you so much. Andrew Karskalian. Andrew Karskalian.
Let me.
Karskalian.
Andrew Karskalian.
Yeah.
Karskalian.
The
Karskalians.
Karskalians.
Is the lucky winner of the VIP upgrade. So congratulations to you.
Congratulations, Mr. Karskalian.
And thank you, David B. We really appreciate it.
That's pretty cool that we
You're
can
lovely.
So we get to do a contest because David B is so nice.
David B, we want you after, if you can, our next live event, we'd like you to be a VIP with us. So we'll reach out to you, my friend, and pay you back.
Why is he being so shy?
David B?
Bowie.
Well, no,
It's
honestly.
Bowie. His last name is Bowie.
You're right. It is. No, it's actually because our sales, VP of sales, Christina, didn't send the rest of his last name. She just wrote David B.
Oh.
That's
Well,
okay.
that's got to be his name.
Oh, like maybe he doesn't want his government on the show.
Yeah,
It's
that's
actually Barskalian.
fair. Stop it. The other thing we have to announce finally is All-Star, baby! All right, so we have some amazing things coming up for All-Star Weekend. Friday, February 2nd, Saturday, February 3rd, the SDPN All-Star Takeover. We're going to have live shows from the SDP. Chris Johnson, Agent Provocateur, and an SDPN All-Stars panel that's going to include a lot of familiar names. And we're sort of like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say them. Should I say them?
I think we're.
Should I say them? Because I know who's going to be on it, but should I say it? I don't even know.
Who?
For what?
Well,
Justin yelled down the hall, no.
Oh yeah.
did he say no?
No.
Okay. All right. So basically, here's the first one. Okay. So the first SDPN All-Star Takeover is going to be from 3 to 6 at the Rec Room. And a lot of people went to the Rec Room for our one show there that one time with Puck Talks, which was awesome.
Yeah, that
Kevin
was.
Kennedy set that up.
2018?
2018. It was the last game of the year because I remember I ducked out of there to go to the Montreal Canadiens game.
That's right.
Because I'm, big Habs fan.
Yeah, for sure.
But this is going to be a major and very exciting thing. So 3 to 6 on the Friday, and then Saturday, we've got our All-Star Takeover Day 2, same place, 255 Bremner Avenue, the Rec Room, and that will be from 12 until 2 because obviously the All-Star game happens at 2. So we're going to do it before the skills competition. So you come down, you have a drink, you hang with us, you eat a little bit, then if you want to, you can mosey on over and
That's a great
and
thing.
see the skills competition in the All-Star game, or you can just hang with us and watch.
Yeah. Or like if we do a bad first half of the show, you're like, this is boring. Go play some video games. It's
Yeah,
the Rec Room.
that's right. And also, we're going to do a little after party from 7:30 to 10 at Isabel's. So that's 548 King Street West. Music, drinks, good times. It's an all-star party. And for the parents in the audience, it's 7:30 to 10. You could stay after, though.
Yeah.
So,
No, there's no bassinets.
no, there is
There's
not.
no kitty dake.
No, but I figured it would be a long day for anybody that's like been to the All-Star game or was watching it and then whatever. So we wanted to party with you, so we're going to do all that stuff.
If you need information,
Where do you go?
go to the description of what you're listening to or watching right now.
But
The
Jesse,
links-
where's that?
the podcast app that you're watching or listening to?
Are you
just
sure?
Go to the description. There are links to everything you need there.
Oh, Jesse in English. Jesse, slow it down.
So
What are you
there's-
talking about?
Ticketing information is there. We're so looking forward to seeing you, and there will be special guests, and we're very excited about that.
No.
We're not.
No.
We don't like.
I might not go.
Yeah. Listen. So All-Star.
That's
You ever-
a lie, by the way. That's
Do you ever
I'm
skate
going.
sharpened for this weekend?
Do we have
Skates. Do you have your skates
Skates?
sharpened?
I thought you said seat, and I'm like, no, I've
Give-
never heard of that in my life.
Do you have your skates sharpened?
No, because the last time I sharpened them, I found it actually much more difficult to skate. So I like my skates the way they are.
Nice
Dull?
Yeah.
Yeah, when your ankle strength isn't like, when you haven't been playing for weeks and weeks and weeks.
All right, kiss my ass.
Well,
What?
Yeah, so
Taking shots?
when you sharpen your skates and your ankles are not as strong as they would have been had you been playing all the time, because you guys used to play like once a week, right? And you're not doing
We
that.
still
right?
do. We got hockey
still do.
tonight.
Yeah, there's been that's right. There's been some disruption because of the weather and holidays and everything.
Oh, okay.
No,
not
no.
over
You know what it was is I didn't sharpen my skates for what I think might have been 2 years.
Oh,
And then I sharpened them and got on the ice and went, "What the fuck is that?"
yeah. Well, again, because when you're a kid, your ankles are never that strong.
Yeah.
So then you get to the point where you're like, oh, I have to put my whole body into it, and then you prefer sharpened skates. But when you're like a little bit, I haven't skated in a few months. It's a little bit weird.
Skating straight ahead became much easier and much faster. Stopping became impossible.
Yeah, where you like catch an edge and fall over yourself.
I like a nicely sharpened skate. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. How's that ankle?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's recovered very.
Did you
it's
sharpen
back
your
to
skates
100%.
before you wrecked it?
No.
No?
I don't know. I think those are on dull skates actually.
Oh,
Because that was in like November or so. Must
yeah,
have
I'm with you,
stopped
Jesse. I
up.
like a sharp skate.
Yeah, I like a sharpened skate.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Steven? Strengthen those ankles.
Yeah,
take,
Steve.
Take playing tips from me, kids. I'm real good at ice hockey.
So the Toronto Maple Leafs are not the top story today.
Hooray! Good.
Good.
The Edmonton Oilers are.
Why? How come?
The Edmonton Oilers have won 12 straight games,
And they beat Seattle to do it, who has also been maybe the second hottest team in the league.
which, by the way, I'm feeling so much better.
Second or
about.
third?
They had such a garbage start, and I was all the way on the Seattle bandwagon to start the year, and I was like, don't do this to me, man.
Yeah, it was
You
a
guys
battle.
Just be you.
A battle of two teams who just decided, actually, we don't know how to play hockey for about a month and a half.
yeah.
And then went, just kidding, we do. Like, just out of nowhere, unexplainable. Seattle might be more confusing because they didn't change anything. But
They just started playing better. By the way, it was the battle of also two hot teams, yes, but two coaches that look identical. Have you ever seen Dave Haxtell and Chris Knobloch in the same room? Well, last night was the first time you did, and yeah, they look exactly the same.
I never made that connection.
They're the same guy. I'm not even like, it's almost like if you watch The Last Jedi where they had that terrible scene where Luke is a hologram or whatever it is. That is what it last night felt like. That's for my Star Wars fans.
How about that terrible scene where they go, he's back?
The whole movie, the whole last trilogy is just.
You think Dave Haxtell and Chris Knobloch look the same?
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Are you pulling them up?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay. Well, so we'll tap dance for a little bit while Jesse's pulling that
You're
up.
telling me they couldn't be brothers or cousins or something?
Hold
Come
on.
on.
Here's what I
Come on.
love about the Knobloch Oilers. Okay, first off, I love saying the name Knobloch again. It's a very satisfying name.
It's great. He really fills the void left by Chuck.
Exactly.
Yes.
The second thing is he goes afterwards. They win their 12 games, and he just basically says, "Listen, if we lose a couple, we're out of the playoff picture. We win a couple, we're talking about home ice advantage."
Mhm.
Like the Edmonton Oilers have the mindset and the execution. And what did they do? What did they do to get here? First, though, let's go to Jesse for a side-by-side.
All right, let's go back. All right, so this is Chris Knobloch. This is Dave Haxtell.
Stop.
They're the same.
They could easily be related.
Yeah.
Easily.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. Okay, which is which? I'm seeing double. 4 crusties.
The only way
That's
that you can tell
crazy.
the difference is that one parts their hair on the left side and one parts their hair on the right side. That's the only way you know.
Oh, that's
All
frustrating.
right, I think their eye color is the same. I'm pretty sure they both have blue eyes.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's not the exact. It's pretty similar.
It is.
That's
wild.
Weird.
The ears are a little different. That's about
A
it.
little, Steve. I mean,
And
that's
this,
just one
this
picture.
picture is just at a different angle.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the ears are the same.
Their ears are pretty much the same.
And look, they're both wearing blazers with a dress shirt.
Okay.
Well, that's a
okay.
hockey thing.
But
Thank you.
What I loved about Chris Knobloch after the game is he gets to the podium and he's like, this is where we're at. We lose a couple games, we're out. We win a couple, we're talking about home ice advantage, and the Edmonton Oilers might just fuck around and win this division.
What I tell you, I wouldn't write them off. I just refused to do it, even though all the evidence was screaming dead in my face that this team sucked. There was a crazy stat I saw. I can't remember after how many games, but they had 5 points in the standings and they were tied with the Sharks, which was wild on account of the Sharks didn't win their first 11 games.
Yes.
How at any point this season where the Oilers ever tied with them after the first week? And it was over a month into the season, something like that.
Yep. And now the Edmonton Oilers have
they-
more than double the points that the Sharks do.
They can't lose.
So maybe we need to start asking what happened with the Sharks.
Go to the league standings.
Why couldn't they do it?
Go to the league standings. I want to know, are there teams in the NHL, I think the answer is yes, who don't even have 12 wins?
The San Jose Sharks are the only team without 12 wins.
Golly!
I just think you'll find it funny, too. The Leafs have played 2 more games and are only 1 point up on the Oilers.
Damn it. Yeah.
Like, that's nuts.
And it's not like, okay, I've been down on them this week. They had a losing streak just now. But it's not like since the Oilers were bad, the Leafs have been bad.
Yeah.
Like, just consistently the whole time. It's just, you can move up the standings rather quickly when you just simply don't lose. It's a great strategy.
Yeah.
I wish more teams tried it.
Well, what, simply winning?
Just win.
You know, I think that what the Oilers have done, and this is where I pause to go to the more important factor, which is how much Hackstall and Knobloch look alike. What have the Oilers done? Well, they could score a bunch of goals. They always could score a bunch of goals. That's great. Okay.
Different coach.
What they did was they played to their strength, scored a bunch of goals, managed the weakness, which is their defense. They couldn't keep deploying Darnell Nurse and Evan Bouchard that way. Mm-hmm. They were getting eaten alive.
The points were always there.
Yeah, of course.
But Bouchard is another level.
But all they had to do was play their game, the thing that's made them successful the last couple of years. And it actually strikes me as, like, I don't expect anybody to have seen this show, but there's a show called Showtime on HBO Max or Crave, depending upon what country you're in. And it's about the Lakers dynasty.
Yes.
And it is so good. And one of the coaches basically tries to institute a system that in theory will work. And the Lakers are like, they've just come off a championship, and they're like, this is terrible. We can't play like this. He ends up getting fired. Who takes over? Pat Riley. Never heard of him.
Or pretty good coach.
But what's interesting about it is that the coach that instituted that system then took it to the NCAA and became the coach of the highest scoring teams in NCAA history.
Oh.
So I'm not even going to say that Jay Woodcroft was wrong in his system, but he might have been wrong in this system for this team. And
which happens all the time.
Absolutely. And we talked about on the last episode, what are the Oilers at in terms of goals per game?
It was like a hair under 5.
No,
it was dead 4.
Dead 4. And guess what they scored last night?
Was it 4?
4 goals.
Unreal.
They're scoring 4 a game. You want to beat the Oilers, you got to score 5. That's really hard. That is the best defense is a good offense.
And there was always going to be regression with the Oilers. I didn't know it would be this hard. They're scoring everything. And by American Thanksgiving, the prospect of Stuart Skinner having a save percentage that started with a 9 seemed ludicrous. And he's already there. It's difficult to point to an aspect of this team that's not to like. I know there's you prefer this guy in that line, and I know a lot of fans are still dismayed with Connor Brown and everything. They're winning. They're winning. How do you nitpick a team that's won 12 straight? That's awesome, man.
It's very difficult.
And who on earth wants to play them?
Nobody. And this is what's great about this too, is it's allowing their defense to settle in and become what they are. Their defense is never going to be otherworldly. It's going to be fine if they play their positions properly. Their goaltender, too, has finally had a minute to sit and not take 40 shots a game. Mm-hmm. And Stuart Skinner's numbers, he's got a 9 in front of his save percentage finally.
Yeah, can't believe that.
Good for him.
The way it started. Like, when Campbell was sent down, Skinner had the worst save percentage. It was like 8-6 something. It was completely wild. Like, there was always going to be a regression, but this is... I mean, watching him, he was bad. Like, it wasn't just, pucks happened to find a way by him. It's like, yeah, because you're translucent.
Yeah.
They went through him like a ghost. And now, they can win a cup with league average goaltending.
Can I ask you guys something?
Mm-hmm.
NHL.com.
It's your job.
I don't want to turn it into a complaint session because we already know it's bad.
No, do it.
But when you go through the categories in NHL.com, say like games played, wins, losses, you can sort from best to worst or worst to best, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When you get over past differential, you can't sort best home record.
So
you can't sort best away record.
It's because you're on standings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to their stats page, I think you can.
Okay.
Yeah,
The stat is available on the standings.
Yeah, they have different like pages for stats and versus
for
standings.
teams. Oh,
Yeah,
I
They
see.
have like team stats pages. It's stupid.
What if you made it available in both places?
Yeah, no, it should be sortable on any chart form. You know?
And here's my issue with it, Jesse, is that on the stats page, it doesn't show you their last 10. I would like to sort by who has the best last 10.
It's ridiculous.
I will say NHL's their historical stuff, like their all-time statistics, are actually pretty.
That's great. I didn't ask about that.
No, I know,
I'm asking about the right now
I'm
stats,
just
but I
I'm
don't give
grading
shit
on a
about-
curve.
So I don't give a shit about the history.
One
right
thing
now.
that
Compliment sandwich.
One thing that really scares me about the Oilers, like Steve was saying, that you can't nitpick anything about them because they're on a 12-game win streak, and I think that's so true. Like, how are you going to say anything negative about a team that's won 12 games in a row? And like, you look at some of their numbers, and I'm like, it could get better.
Oh yeah,
Because right now they sit in 5-on-5, so like take away their power play, which hasn't been like the best. If you look at their 5-on-4 numbers, they're kind of like 9th, 10th-ish there, and goals for in terms of all situations, I think they're 9th right now. If you go to 5-on-5 goals for, they sit 12th in the entire league. Like, oh, that's not great. If you go to their expected goals for at 5-on-5,
they're in a new category above first.
they are just so far ahead of every single NHL team. They have 106 point something expected goals for at 5-on-5. The next closest for Colorado, I think they just crossed 100. Like, they're in the 90s for most of the season. So they're just so far above everybody at 5-on-5. It's been ridiculous.
No, and you know, you're talking about they could get better. Like, it wouldn't. They don't need to go out and get Matthias Ekholm. They already got him. So first of all, there's proof of concept that they actually can go out there and make a trade that'll help their team. And like, what do they need to go out there and get? Like, would the Oilers be an improved team with like Ilya Lyubushkin and like I think his name's Alexei Toropchenko from the Blues?
Is that who they're targeting?
He's like a big bottom six guy.
Okay.
He's like it feels like this year's Barbashev.
All right.
Barbashev's better.
Yeah, okay,
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
it's
no,
like,
I understand what you're saying. Like, they really need to tinker. That's about it. And like, depth would be nice. Maybe a backup goalie would be nice. But you're not breaking the bank. Not breaking the bank at all.
No. This is it's a great thing for the Oilers, a great thing for the league. And the
Go
other
raid the Sharks.
what's that?
Go raid the Sharks.
Yeah, there's enough teams, I think, that are going to be sellers that there's something out there to get, you know. Expected goals against as well, Oilers lead. Like, on both sides of the expected goals at 5-on-5, they are number one. Florida second, but 75 expected goals against for 5-on-5 the entire season.
Like,
It's crazy.
yeah, they have Connor McDavid who's shooting the lights out again. They have Leon Draisaitl who's shooting the lights out again. And this guy who's on pace for somewhere between 50 and 60 goals. You guessed it, Zach Hyman. Like, anytime you have a three-headed monster like that, you're simply not going to lose a big old bunch of games. And Bouchard, I wonder if by the end of the season, I don't know if he's there now, but I wonder if by the end of the season, Evan Bouchard works his way into the Norris conversation.
I mean, works his way. How dare you?
Jesse did a video about that.
You did?
I did.
The
Yeah.
whole video
that's
one.
right.
Yeah. Oh, is that where you got that little idea
No,
from, Steve?
I got it. No, I got it from being an Evan Bouchard fantasy holder.
No, I didn't just make a video and you retweeted it, and all of a sudden you're like, no, somebody had this crazy idea that's originally mine.
No, take it. This is mine.
I think I was first.
Yeah. No, I
Did you say it on the show?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, then.
That it
Snooze,
doesn't
you
exist.
lose. Nope.
Yes, it doesn't exist. Yeah, no. On my YouTube channel, which you can follow right now, I made the case that Evan Bouchard should at least be third in the Norris conversation. I think Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes are just so far ahead of him right now that he wouldn't jump into the top two. But third, he's right there in terms of points per game. Power play points, I believe he's just behind Cale Makar. His defensive numbers aren't the greatest in terms of giveaways, but takeaways, he's right there. So, like, there's a serious case that Evan Bouchard should be third in Norris Trophy voting. Depends on if you want to go with Noah Dobson or Evan Bouchard for that spot.
I'd be, first of all, Dobson's ridiculous.
I would go to Dobson, but it's not because I hate Bouchard.
It's 1A and 1B, I think, in terms of the 3-4.
I wanna know what the splits for Bouchard would be defensively between Woodcroft and Knobloch
Very interesting
this year. No, he's a much improved player, and like when we ripped him earlier this season, I don't regret it. He deserved it. We watched several plays where he was. I mean, I'd love to call him a cardio merchant. It didn't look like he elevated his heart rate, bent his knees, or played hockey at all. Still put up points, but in the defensive zone, he was completely useless. He's been a marquee player.
Yeah.
And producer Drew always gets pissed about this sort of stuff because he's like, Cale Makar's the best player. He's the best defenseman in the league. How dare you say that's not what the Norris is? The Norris is not who is the best defenseman. It's who's the best defenseman this year.
Yes.
Yes, and consistently.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Year in, year out, I think it's Cale Makar, no question. Year in, year out, every year.
Can be Adam Fox sometimes.
Yeah, no, that means two.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
No,
Makar is where the conversation begins every year, and then you play the games to figure it out from there. He's number one, but other guys can sneak in there. And, his defensive metrics aren't the greatest? Let me show you a guy named Erik Karlsson,
Wow.
who won it last year.
That was a whole other thing that needs to be debated as we get like enough time from that season, you know, about like, did he actually deserve it because he just put up all these points? I don't know.
I think a lot of people are like, there should be an offensive defenseman award and defensive defenseman award. I think the defensive defenseman award would be the most annoying thing on the planet.
I think there 100% should be a defensive defenseman award.
Yes, but
Because there's a defensive forward award.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't understand why you can't show that other side of the game.
Like the
if you do it for
Selke. Like
forward.
That's a great argument, Adam.
Yeah.
it's the only argument.
Yeah. No, it's perfect logic.
Yeah. But
Like,
Steve's
why are we
right.
doing that for forwards?
Steve's right in the sense, and I know where you're going with this, is that people don't know what a good defensive defenseman often is, especially the people that vote on it traditionally. Like, usually we'd have like, it'd be like, it's Adam Foote again and Adam Foote again. And it's like, well, no, actually, are you going to dive deep into the numbers and vote proproperly?
Yeah.
I think
Stay off of Twitter like the day after they hand out that award. Like, because that'll be the most
Where do you get your
insufferable
numbers,
day.
Jesse? Anyway.
No, it's just, here's a big fella who hangs out in front of the net.
Yeah.
You know, every year it's going to a big fella. who
Derek
hangs out
Engelland.
in front of the. Yeah, man. Like, back when he was a defenseman.
Yes.
And then became a forward and then a defenseman. Like, I think it would be tremendously annoying as a voting process, but you're right. There does deserve to be that.
What would you call it, Jesse?
The Evan
Ilya
Bouchard
Lyubushkin.
Memorial. Oh, you want to go?
I thought you were going to call it the MasterCard
The
MBNA.
Defensive David Kampf Award.
The David, you can't name it after a forward.
No, the Defensive David Kampf Award.
Defensive David
Whoever's the Defensive David Kampf gets the award.
All right.
My
That's what I'm
guess
giving it to.
is the push from the old guard would be the Larry Robinson Award.
That's a great one.
Doug Harvey, even, because he was actually the defenseman. Defensive defenseman. Larry
You
was
should
offense.
Presented by Harvey's.
You
there you
probably
go.
do like the Bobby Orr is the offensive defenseman, and they do Larry Robinson the defensive defenseman,
And then
you
the
have
Norris is the best overall.
best overall.
Listen, I'm all for more awards, and I'm always that type of person. Like, I don't care that much. But it's fun to talk about now.
The NFL does best offensive player of the year because the MVP has just become the quarterback award. This is like who's the best quarterback.
Yeah.
So they have this offensive player of the year, and that usually goes to like Christian McCaffrey, or the best running back, or best wide receiver. or
I like
something.
that.
You
I like
know?
that a lot.
Let's break it up a little.
Larry Robinson has one of the most unbreakable records in hockey. So 5 players have ever gotten a career plus 500 or better. Bobby Clark at 507, Wayne Gretzky at 520, Ray Bourque at 527, Bobby Orr at 582, Larry Robinson 722
Plus,
plus
Oh, that's
722 in 1,384 games.
That's bonkers.
That's
He had almost
ridiculous.
1,000 points. So maybe defensive defenseman is out the window.
Yeah, maybe we'll go back and talk to Jeff Merrick and see who it actually should be.
We'll figure it out. Serge Savard, maybe. We'll figure it out.
That's ridiculous.
Dude, he's one of the most dominant players of all time.
Yeah. Those Montreal Canadiens numbers from the 70s, like you look up Ken Dryden's goaltending stats, they're so ridiculous. Like it's not fair.
What about the Larry Robinson plus minus award?
I think
Awarded every year to the player with the best plus minus.
plus minus is such a bad stat, though. And I do bring it up from time to time because when it gets goofy, you're like, well, there might actually be a problem here. But it is such a stat from a bygone era, right? It doesn't say much. Like you could be a really good player on the Ducks. And we say this with advanced stats too, right? You know, like you could be a really good player, but you're on the Ducks and you're getting caved.
Right.
Like that's not a fair representation of how, and so as bad as you can be, you can also be fake good.
We call that
the
John Gibson.
yeah.
I don't care. He's good. I know he's been on a bad team for half a decade. He's good.
And people will be like, maybe the team would be better if he was better.
What?
Most important position in the sport.
Whoa. No, you know what? I've watched Mackenzie Blackwood make 50 saves.
Mackenzie Blackwood should be a goalie that
in a
people
period.
are after.
Yeah.
Get ready for Puck Drop at BetMGM, the official sports betting partner of your NHL. Can you believe that? Good for them.
I believe it. They're a rather large company.
I know, but I just think that's cool. From game-winning goals to spectacular saves, BetMGM gives you the chance to take those highlight reel NHL plays to a whole new level. BetMGM has something special for every hockey fan. Jesse,
Yes.
when you go online this weekend and you're betting on something at BetMGM, what are you looking for? What's your
Oh my
thing?
God, give me the Bills. Give me the Bills.
You're going
all
Bills.
Day.
You're not even going hockey.
Bills minus 2.5, taking it. This is their time. Patrick Mahomes. Taylor Swift is Yoko Ono. She's taking down the Chiefs.
How dare you? Even sarcastically,
Give me Josh
how
Allen.
dare you? How
Gun to the earth, Josh Allen.
Take your shot to light the lamp or score a touchdown with BetMGM. Download the app today and find out why BetMGM is not only the official sports betting app and partner of the NHL in Canada, but they're also the king of sportsbooks. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 19 years of age or older to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario.
He did it! He did it! You recovered.
I made a mistake earlier on, but it wasn't a part of that part of the read, and I feel good about it. Before we get to the Leafs, I actually wanted to ask you guys very quickly about Elvis Merzlikins.
The saga going on in Columbus.
Asked for a trade from the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the problem is that even if they wanted to trade him, it doesn't look like they can because nobody's interested. Now, is Elvis Merzlikins, and the reason I bring this up is we talk about John Gibson. Part of John Gibson is like, well, he makes 6.4. It's 3 more years. He's an older guy. There is some injury history. And is he good? We don't know. The Ducks have been bad for so long, it's hard to tell, right? But we have seen players leave the Ducks, at least skaters leave the Ducks, and, oh, wow, they're not so bad. Simon Benoit.
Yes.
Not so bad, right? I'm wondering the same thing about Merzlikins. Is this, I mean, clearly the Columbus Blue Jackets are not a well-run franchise. I am not, from top to bottom. People were talking about Pascal Vincent like he was the guy. We've been waiting for this guy to find a job. And so far,
he's popular.
He's done a terrible job. And it's 3 or 4 months into his career. But look at the Columbus Blue Jackets line choices. They may not all be Pascal Vincent, but unfortunately, all I know is that Pascal Vincent is the guy setting the lines, and they're not looking great.
I think it's pretty obvious what the Blue Jackets are doing.
What are they doing?
Well, they hired Mike Babcock because they're like, we want a hard ass, and then too hard of an ass. So, okay, let's bring in Pascal Vincent and tell him to be a hard ass.
Yep.
And he's healthy, scratching guys, and guys are getting sent down, and you're getting moved to the wing, and it's all just deck chairs. Like, I don't love his coaching decisions this year, but like, there's no combination that would make that team any good.
Oh, right. There is talent on that team, though.
There's talent.
So
there,
if there was something to do, you play to whatever strength you think the team might have.
Remember what Jason York said about the Sens being young up the middle? The Blue Jackets are simply bad.
They're nothing up the middle.
Like, it's just, they don't have guys.
They're
man.
Kent Johnson up the middle.
They're like, okay, if you go Johnson, Fantilli, Jenner, even that is still real green.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of potential there, but real green.
I mean, but they like Pascal Vincent the other day, one of the big things was Boone Jenner came back, so they moved Adam Fantilli to the wing.
Which I think people overreacted to. Like, it's not unusual for a young center to play wing sometimes.
I think
Quentin Byfield's doing it right now, isn't he?
Who?
Quentin Byfield?
Yeah, but Fantilli and Byfield, I think, are different. I think that's apples and oranges, and not because Byfield's not great. I think you look
and Byfield is probably just a winger from now on.
Yeah, he might just be a winger. Yeah. Auston Matthews
has been
couldn't win a faceoff in his first year. He did have two other centers on the team that were older and had been there, but he scored a bunch of goals and made a bunch of defensive mistakes. And, and the Leafs were like, well, he's going to be a center, so we're going to have to deal with the warts. Adam Fantilli is a 3rd overall pick. You make him the center. He's now the center. And you let him figure it out. Why are you trying to win games at this point? No, you're not.
They're really going with the whatever that spaceship is with the extra gravity that Goku trained in.
Mm-hmm.
They're really putting them through that.
And David Juracek going up and down. You don't know?
Shut up.
Kent Johnson going up and down. I do know what you're talking. The 1,000 times gravity or whatever.
Yes.
That they run out for an entire year. That was such bullshit. There was no storyline in that entire season except for him working out.
Dragon Ball didn't have great storylines.
Terrible storyline.
Hey,
what are you talking about? Hey,
but when they fought, it was cool.
Yeah, Dragon Ball was just sick because they had powers.
Yeah.
When he kills Krillin, how dare you?
My point
with Elvis, it's so funny to see an insider come out, and Pierre LeBrun was on Insider Trading or whatever, wasn't come out and say that there are no suitors for a player. That doesn't happen very often. Usually if somebody's doing an inside report on a trade, they're breaking some rumors and give you some possibilities. And for him to just say that flat out, it speaks to the situation that's happening with Columbus and how untradeable Merzlikins is right now. If you're Columbus, you don't move him because you have to give things to move this contract that is $5-point-something million through 2027. You're not trading this guy right now.
There was a move to be had, I think, something involving Merzlikins and Jack Campbell, and I just don't know if it's there anymore. I just don't know if it's there. The other problem with Merzlikins, Pecorine was on again, off again. Mm-hmm. Sergei Bobrovsky was on again, off again. Merzlikins is on again, off again, off again, off again. Like, it's been a while.
And it sounds like a pain.
Well.
You ever get the fight with Tom Wilson and then he had to get benched after that?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Remember? He just attacks Tom Wilson and all this stuff. And then now he's getting benched and he wants a trade. It doesn't seem like anybody is happy. It doesn't seem like Columbus is happy with him, and it doesn't seem he's happy with Columbus. So everybody's just upset.
Yeah. He's also, I hate to bring it up, but like, he's also got, if I were him, I'd probably want out of Columbus too. Like, it's not just that things aren't working out. Like, there was a tragedy involved there. And, I don't blame the guy at all, but the reality of the situation is,
how do you move him?
Someone's got to want you.
And nobody in the league wants to trade for him.
29 years old, $5.4 million for 3 years after this one.
Yeah.
So you're taking a Senator-sized risk there. You're looking at a player that has put up really good numbers, but again, and I say Senator-sized because they keep taking risks on goaltenders for 4 or 5 years at that amount of money.
I think would change the scenery. He could be great.
I you know what? I agree with you. If you look at his numbers, you go back and you look at his history. His numbers kind of go how the Columbus Blue Jackets have gone. In 2019-2020, they were a really tight defensive team under Tortorella. Mm-hmm. And 2020, 2021, same thing. And those are his two best years. He had a save percentage of .923 and .916 in consecutive years. Now, the 1 year he played over 50 games was 21-22. 907 save percentage. The team wasn't very good. He had a .322 goals against average, but again, goals against average is more of a team stat.
Yeah.
I think this guy probably, And from what we've heard, to be honest, the players are not thrilled about what's going on in Columbus. Like, there are rumors about a lot of guys who are like, what the hell is going on here? And you can't blame them. Like, I think this management group's gone at the end of the year. If the coach survives it, that's one thing. But there's no direction, and there is talent on this roster, so that's got to be extremely frustrating. I don't blame him for asking for a trade, but I do think you're going to have to find a team that's got cap space and desperate need for a goaltender. And I don't think the Columbus Blue Jackets are going to retain on that deal.
I think if you meet your goals, you're not failing. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't think the San Jose Sharks are failing in the slightest.
I think they're meeting their goals.
They're meeting their goal.
Yeah.
The Chicago Blackhawks are not failing. They are meeting their goal. The Ottawa Senators are failing miserably, and the Blue Jackets are failing. Those are two teams who I don't think anyone was like, yeah, Columbus is making the playoffs. But it was supposed to be a step in the right direction, and it's not there.
The other question I have for you, gentlemen, is outside of your Connor Hellebucks, your UC Saros, I mean, Bobrovsky's one thing in Florida. How much money actually, or how much percentage of cap, which is a more accurate way to look at it, are we spending on goaltending now? You're looking at, when we started this show, goalies were regularly playing, starting goaltenders were playing 60 to 65 games. We've now seen that come down 10 to 15 games for the starters. So you're needing your backups to play 30 to 35. I remember Freddie Anderson, like when Curtis McElhinney got in, it was only on the second half of a back-to-back. Yes. That's it.
Yes.
Right? Jonas Enroth only got in on the second half of a back-to-back, right? Now that that's changed, how much money can you objectively tie up in the position? So if Merzlikins comes to your organization, and let's say he's making his $5.4 million, how much can you pay your backup before and have a good backup before you start to sacrifice at other positions? Like, you look at the Leafs sacrifice on defense and some of their depth forwards so that they can have a crazy top four, and their goaltending happens to be relatively cheap. Luckily, by the grace of God.
Yes.
So that's how they've decided to structure it. What kind of team? I think you're $7.5, $8 million you want to max have tied up in that position.
Well,
like that's tough.
Depends what you're getting. Like, okay, let's look at the best teams, right? So Hellebuck's 7.5. What is Brossoit getting?
Oh, okay, I'll look it up.
I think the answer is you can't go over roughly 9.
And even that sounds a little
quite
expensive.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a bit, but
you better have like one of the best.
Well, Swain and Ullmark, right?
Right.
Hellebuck, Brossoit, who surely Brossoit got a raise.
You want to know Brossoit's?
I'm looking
after last year with Vegas.
Brossoit 1.75.
1 point. Yeah, so there you go.
And he's a UFA next year.
Right.
That'd be a good depth pickup for a team. $8.5 million for Connor Hellebuck. I don't know why I said 7.5, but it's 8.5 next year.
Oh, well then they're spending quite a bit. But look how he's performing.
But again, he's the outlier. Mm-hmm. He's a top 3. You don't count him. Everybody else is good goalie, not great goalie.
Yeah, the Leafs are a clear outlier because right now they're when Woll comes back, it sounds like Samsonov's going back to the Marlies.
Mm-hmm.
The Leafs will be spending like 1.6 on their tandem,
and then $2 million on the goalie that isn't playing for them against the cap,
something like that. Yeah, like it's 8 or 9, but it better be elite. For most teams, I think the answer is probably somewhere around 6.
So then, if it's around 6. Merzlikins is a tough call
because it looked like he was going to be that goalie who
he was going to be him.
He was going to be him. Elvis Merzlik him. It was going to be. He was going to give you 50 plus games a season at a 9 point something, and
which is good.
Really strong.
And he did.
Yes,
he did. But the team sucks now. I don't even think you can get the best of Elvis. It's not fair to look at it, but he's stuck. Unless the Columbus Blue Jackets want to hold back $2 million a year for the next 3 years, I don't think he's moving until at least the summer.
Is anybody in Columbus happy?
No.
It seems like from the president, from the owner down to all the way to the players, everybody's unhappy there.
Think about this, Jess. Imagine think about nothing. Don't think about anything.
I'm thinking.
Stop thinking. Imagine you're a third overall pick, not a third round pick. You're a third overall pick. Jesse Blake. Okay, he's a creative player. He's 6'5". On skates, he's 6'7". His
Skate
reach
like
is
wing.
crazy.
Yeah.
He's a centerman, and you go
I
to the
want
Columbus
to play
Blue
left wing.
Jackets. Sorry,
I want to play left wing.
you want to play left wing?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. But this time, I'm actually comparing you to Fantilli, so I'm making you a center.
Damn
okay?
it. Okay.
So
More responsibility.
you're gonna be a centerman,
Okay.
and you're gonna go, and there's a probably Hall of Fame coach coaching you.
Ooh.
And the first time you meet him, he's like, "Let me look through your phone."
That's uncomfortable. I think that's
Do we feel good about the state of things in Columbus?
No.
And here's the thing: if you're Adam Fantilli or you're any of these high draft picks, or you're like David Juracek in there, Kent Johnson in there, are you thinking, okay, but they got rid of that guy? Yeah, but what about the two guys that hired him?
Mm-hmm.
What about the two guys that thought this was a good idea? And you start to see how players can just start to doubt everything. And listen, if you're a player on the Columbus Blue Jackets right now, you're probably thinking, okay, so Davidson and Kekalainen have got to be gone at the end of this year. If they're not, then they got nude pictures of the owner on the beach somewhere. Like, it's crazy.
Did you hear they replaced the cannon in Columbus?
No.
They did. It's now
Did you say bang?
No, it's just an old man with a loaf of bread,
Stop
so that he could feed all the lame ducks.
Oh,
He's just
stop it!
ripping off chunks, and there you go, Davidson. Here you go,
Yeah.
friggin'.
So
what's the other guy, Jarmo Kekalainen? Here you go, everyone up. They're getting canned.
So what is your desire
Mm-hmm.
to play for this coach when you know that the guys that hired him are probably gone? How detailed are you really going to be?
Well, can I answer for the people screaming at the screen right now? I think it's the millions of dollars. You know what I mean? Like, listen, out of the 32 situations, that one's got to be a bottom 5 situation.
Mm-hmm.
You're also in the NHL. Buck up.
Yeah.
Like, I think the path forward for Merzlikins is, you want to go somewhere so that you can be a good goalie for someone else. I have an idea. Prove you can be a good goalie. The reason there are no suitors is there's heightened skepticism that you can do your job at a $5.4 million level.
Yep.
Go out there, do your fucking best.
Steal some games. Mackenzie Blackwood.
Yeah, dude. Like, none of us are looking at the Sharks and going, that's a great hockey team right there. But we're all looking at Mackenzie Blackwood going, fuck, he's doing his best.
I'd take him on my team.
Sure. And that's not something I would have said when he was in New Jersey.
No.
I remember when they made that trade, I said something along the lines of, yes, it could work out. And if it doesn't, they spent like a 6th round pick to get him, and they lose games, which is what they want to do anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's win-win.
Yep.
Win-win for them. And this is the best of both worlds. He's stopping 40, 50 shots a night, and they're losing. Hooray. Let's go out there and get some Max Celebrini, kids.
Yeah.
So Merzlikins has to prove himself.
This segment isn't here to rag on the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
But Boone Jenner's been out, Laine's been out, Werenski's been out. Like, I get it. But if Blue Jackets fans are being honest, this is not what anybody wants. And the Blue Jackets need to pick a lane, and they need a new voice. And so Merzlikins may never get traded.
The shoulder is technically a lane.
Yeah, anything. Just go in a straight line for a while.
Yeah.
Have a goal in mind.
Yeah.
Have an identity. What are you? After they have not figured out what they are post-Torts. The second he left, what did the franchise become?
They acquired some talent.
There's absolutely lots of talent on this roster.
But it's not good enough to just be like, here are several players. Like, it's gotta, all right, you signed Johnny Gaudreau.
Why?
What are you surrounding him with? Your top center is Laine, who previously I was unaware played that position. Like, what's going on here? When Gaudreau first signed there, I remember being like, oh, now guys are going to sign in Columbus. You know, because, they're spending on Werenski, they're spending on Gaudreau. Now it's time to surround those guys with talent. It's going backward.
Well, and how many, like, beyond just going backwards, you got Gaudreau's dad on Twitter saying he'd welcome a trade back to Calgary. Like, it's not...
I forgot about that.
It's not like this is not good.
No.
So I think what we need to do is we need someone with a vision. Now, I'm really hoping that they don't hire the assistant general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes, who I was sincerely hoping would be the Leafs
I don't think they can afford him.
general manager. No, you don't think they can afford him?
No.
On a Carolina salary? Do you think Tom Dundon doesn't pay anybody anything?
Well, you got a point. You got a point.
I'm not even
there.
going to say his name.
What?
I want him to be a Leaf. The GM of the AGM.
Is it because you can't remember his name?
No. Maybe. But he's still my favorite GM. He works under Don Waddell. You know what I'm talking about? He was the
Yes,
guy who
I
wanted
do.
to replace Dubas.
And I'm getting pissed.
See?
All right.
I can't pull names out of thin air.
Who's going to be first?
Carolina
Just look it up. There you go.
Hurricanes AGM. All right. We got Justin Williams.
Dustin Blackberry.
Yeah.
Steve, you listed all the Columbus Blue Jackets centers. Cole Sillinger.
Eric Tulsky.
No, but he's greedy.
Eric
Tulsky.
who I love Eric Tulsky.
Cole
Don't know
Sillinger,
his name.
Boone Jenner, Dmitry
Voronkov.
Voronkov, sorry, and Sean Corrali is what they're going with right now. Boone Jenner is also dated.
Man.
Ben Johnston's on the wing. Fantilli's on the wing.
You're telling me Fantilli can't play Cole Sillinger's spot? You're telling me Boone Jenner, who just came off an injury, can't play the wing for a bit?
He's still day to day, so I don't know if he's going to play in the next game. But
Also, Marchenko, somebody's got to pick that guy up.
Laine's out.
The line,
Werenski's still out. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
the
IR.
the
he's out.
forward group appears to be exclusively guys who can play center mediocre. Like play center if you need to. You know what I mean? Like Roslovic is a center, he's on the wing. Fantilli's a center, he's on the wing. Johnson's a center, he's on the wing.
I like their fourth line. Texier, Corrali, and Danforth is a good fourth line.
Meh. That's meh. That's a big old bunch of meh.
Igor
Sorry, like-
Chinakhov on your first line is like a...
You know what? He was still a good pick. He's
Yeah,
like, He's
Oh,
like
yeah.
one of the greatest victories of Jarmo Kekalainen's tenure there.
Yeah.
He drafted a guy in the first round who was ranked like 120th, and it ended up being the right pick.
Severson, Boyquist, Provorov, Peak, Bean, Goodbranson.
And I like all of
Meh.
those. I like Severson. I like Boquist. Provorov's been a good player. Not recently. Peak's good. Bean's been relatively good for a third pairing guy. Goodbranson is what he's billed, and he's overpaid, but whatever. You know, like I don't
decided
see
to give
anything wrong.
He beat up Nick Cousins, so I'm giving him a pass for the whole
Yeah, I'm pro Eric Goodbranson this
Yeah.
You get like a 6-month pass if you do
Yeah.
that.
No, you're good.
That's the badge you earn, you know?
Yeah.
Did you blow your assignment? No, it's your partner's fault. You didn't do anything wrong, Eric. Good job, buddy. Butt pats all around. Good job.
It's pretty thin in Columbus.
It is, and I don't blame Merzlikins. I don't think he gets traded this unless the trade deadline takes off or whatever. But going to be fascinating to see what happens with Columbus, and desperate for a new voice. I need a GM to sit at that table and go, "We are gonna be fill in the blank. What are you gonna be? Do you need at least you know with Treliving he wants more snot." Okay, cool. You knew with Burke he wanted truculence. You knew with Dubas he wanted Nick Patan
Give me
and
a
Dennis
message,
Malgin.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me something to work toward.
Yeah, whoever gets that job next is gonna have a task and a half to work with, but at least they'll like have a direction because they're new in there and they're gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna do this, you know, so it'll be good.
Exactly.
Do you guys want to play goalie trivia before we
Yes,
move on?
let's go.
Since we've talked about goalie injuries and everything, Aiden Hill has been in and out of the lineup for months now. He's been out for the last like 13 games ish for the Vegas Golden Knights. When he was in the lineup, he was leading the league in save percentage, and if you like drop enough games qualified, I think he played like 13 so far this season, he should still lead the league in save percentage. So that brings us to the question. They've been using Logan Thompson as their starter. The Vegas Golden Knights have been. But who are the other two goalies that they've been using as an emergency loan on their roster right now? Can you name both?
God.
Both emergency loan goalies right now on the Vegas Golden Knights roster.
No.
They're
Why do
backups.
they always have this? Name a season in Vegas is like our goalies are all injured. They're all
Guys
dead. They died.
on IR right now for the Vegas Golden Knights. Jack Eichel, William Karlsson, Aiden Hill, William Carrier, Ben Hutton. Everybody is always injured in Vegas. I don't know how they do it. And then all of a sudden, they're all really good in the playoffs again.
I watched a game where Vegas was playing this guy too. recently.
Can you give me one of the two?
They have a European goalie. Oh my God, what's his name? Oh, does it start with a
This would be great if you
a
get
P?
this. The last name does start with a P.
Hey, come on.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, this is hurting my
He's
heart.
24 years old, makes under 800 grand. The goalies, by the way, combined on the Vegas Golden Knights right now make $2.3 million.
God bless.
Logan Thompson is 766. This goalie is 775, and then the other goalie is 849.
Did Logan Thompson get an extension, by the way?
No, not yet.
hasn't.
He signed through another season at 766.
I hate them.
Yeah,
I hate them.
It's unbelievable. Aiden Hill is who you're thinking about with the extension. He signed for 4.9 in the offseason.
Which is reasonable if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Is he Russian?
I don't know. Let me check his nationality.
Oh,
If
He is.
Czech.
He's from the Czech Republic.
yeah, he's Czech. I definitely know who this.
6th round pick from the Czech Republic.
By the way, you're allowed to say Czech Republic again. I didn't know that. For a while there, we had to call it Czechia. And then everybody's like, no, you can call it both.
Yeah, I think it's both because Czechia is established by the sporting body, right,
That's
for their
right.
international sports teams. I
But
think.
they represent the Czech Republic. Is that
Yeah.
what it is? Yes.
or I think you just call it Czechia. Yeah. Either or, I think everybody's fine with.
Does your brain ever say the wrong answer over and over again, and
Yes.
you know it's wrong?
Yes.
So I
Say the name.
I keep saying Prosvetov, but that's the guy
Yeah,
on
that's-
Colorado.
Yes, that is the Colorado goalie.
What's his name?
Yuri Patera.
No! No! Damn it!
Now, the other goalie who's on their roster will sound like something I just made up, but his name is Isaiah Seville.
Never in
that's
a million
definitely
years.
Yeah, that's be a player.
That's the
Create a player.
First
Like,
I've ever heard of. this
How do
existence.
they keep getting away with this?
It's because they got good defense.
That's true.
They let the goalies come in. Like, listen, goaltenders that make the NHL all have the talent. They have the talent. It's do they have the brain power to keep it going, right? You know, like you look at Samsonov,
Yeah.
right? He's had his mental struggles. He objectively can play physically NHL goaltending. He can. He
He's
can
not
do
hurt.
that.
As
He's not
far
hurt.
as we know.
Right. So what Vegas does is they're like, how about we just play strong hockey in front of them and let them figure it out and be confident.
Let him figure it out.
They haven't been playing well as of late. You know, they've been slumping a little bit, but they've been trying to hold it together, especially with Jack Eichel out. You know, that guy's such a monster driving the play on the ice. Like, having him out definitely hurts. Isaiah Seville hasn't gotten into a game yet this season. I hope he gets at least one start. That'll be fun to see.
Yep.
And Yuri Patera's got 5 games so far under his belt, 901 save percentage.
I'm so
Logan Thompson just doing a tremendous job at 766 grand, you know, just holding
Unreal
down
deal.
the fort. Yeah.
Now, the Saturday night, Steve Dangle will be doing a live stream on the SDPN channel. Starting at, what time will you start? Because the game starts at 7, well, 7-ish. But are you going to start it at 7, or what are you going to do?
I'm thinking it'll probably be a hair after 7
Okay.
because Saturday games usually puck drop is usually 7:15 as opposed to weekday games are usually 7:07.
No, they're not.
No, they're like
They're supposed to be.
7:30.
Every NHL game that's ever started has started 45 minutes late.
Yeah, so annoying. Oh, man.
They're like, all right, 7 o'clock puck drop at 7:30. Let's start the anthems.
Yeah, they did a what was it last night? It was this Leafs game was scheduled from like 9 to 11:30. I'm like, yeah,
No,
right.
it'll be midnight.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
like
right.
I like a good bagpipe, but whenever I see them on the ice, I'm like, oh, we're gonna be here a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
We're
like,
gonna be here a while.
Oh, you're playing Montreal on a Saturday night? Okay, we're gonna have some they're gonna wheel out the 1956 team, and I can't wait. And there's their wives. That's fantastic.
It's not even the first note that meh. It's
Yeah.
the like before it starts. I'm like, oh, we're gonna be here half an hour.
Oh, Glenn Healy. There's Glenn Healy.
There he is again.
I don't.
Hello, Glenn.
I get that when for the ticket goer, it's supposed to be like, okay, the show starts at 7, so
Yes.
then we start all of the things at 7. But I think like we should establish, no, we start those things at like 6:45, and the show is the game, and the puck drop has to happen at the time of the game.
And-
that would be much nicer.
Jesse, I couldn't agree more. And I think the game start should be non-negotiable. If you would like to do a 45-minute ceremony beforehand, then start it earlier. Then go, hey, tonight's special. You know why? 45 minutes earlier, we're doing the bagpipe thing.
You just reminded me of a mini story. Actually,
Tell me.
it's my wife.
Okay.
Does not often.
Waff.
My wife.
We
does
get
not-
it, you're married.
Yeah.
Every time I
big
mention
wife guy.
every time I mention that on Twitter, like, yeah, we get it. You're married.
We get it.
You were saying-
She doesn't chirp hockey players very often, but she chirped one time.
Who?
Glenn Healy.
What?
What?
Because
What's wrong with Glenn? He's a great guy.
Because stereotypes are very fun, and my wife, who's born in Aberdeen, Scotland, plays the bagpipes, and she's like,
Does she play the bagpipe?
yeah, she used to play in the Hamilton Police Band, and she would drive from Ajax to Hamilton to play the bagpipes.
Way.
And she saw Glenn Healy play because he also lives in Ajax.
Yeah.
And plays bagpipes at friggin' everything. And she's like, yeah, I play pipes better than him.
Oh,
She said she was a better piper than Glenn
Can we
Healy.
get a Glenn Healy, Mrs. Dangle bagpipe off one day on this
She
show?
hasn't played for a very long time.
Like, I want her to do Thunderstruck on the bagpipes. Just embarrass him.
Damn.
I don't even know if
crazy.
she still has her pipes. I don't know where they are.
So can I tell you something? The Paul McCartney, this is going to sound old. Paul McCartney has a song called Mull of Kintyre, which is about a part of Scotland. And it has bagpipes in it. And one of the only places on earth he will play that song live is Toronto, because we have such a strong bagpipe community. So when I saw him, I'm not kidding.
That's one hell of a
real
sentence.
thing. And it's a great song. It gives you chills if you're into that kind of music. It's a really good song. And I remember when I went to see Paul McCartney live like 15 years ago, because I was trying to see all the greats before they got too old. Glenn Healy was on stage playing.
I've heard of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
It was Glenn Healy's bagpipe band.
He told this story on Agent Provocateur.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, that the very first episode, I think. Wasn't he there? Wasn't he our
The first
guest?
one was Fleury, was it? No, it was
Perron.
David Perron.
Perron was the
yeah.
first guest.
Healy was like 3
Okay.
or 2. Yeah.
He was very early on.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about the Leafs. And we'll just say this up front. 2 reasons they won last night. Auston Matthews, which if they're going to win most of the time, it's going to be because of Auston Matthews, right?
Fourth hat trick this season.
Which is bonkers. 37 goals in 42 games. Outrageous. Amazing. We'll
on
talk
pace
about
for
that.
70 goals.
The second thing is obviously the video crew that the Leafs have. Now, let's start with the on-ice product where the Leafs came out and had a terrible first period. And
it wasn't good.
And my wife said to me, Adam, if they play like this all game, I don't think I can watch Saturday. And I said, you will, because you're weak. And we all are.
Damn.
I said, you're weak.
God
You're weak.
damn.
You will come back. You will.
I think I'm understanding the divorce thing.
He's looking for a third, everybody.
Going for the Hattie.
Yeah. Just like Matthews. Adam wants a hat trick. Where's your wedding ring?
Oh, it's still lost. Anyway, it's not because the marriage is falling apart. I lost it on the beat. All right.
And then he said, "You're weak."
Yeah. And then.
Adam's not anti-woman. Adam, can you explain feminism to Maddie real quick?
Yeah. So, Maddie.
Sorry.
See, here's what you
tell her
chicks
about it,
need
tell
to
her.
know, Maddie.
What about
Here's what
Matthews?
guy on TikTok told me. Anyway, so the product was terrible. Okay, the product was terrible in the first period.
Yeah.
But what was great was, first off, I love when TSN does a game. I know the Western people didn't get it. I know Sportsnet was doing that. When Mike Johnson is so good, so good between the benches.
He sees things lightning quick.
Best in the business.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Like I loved Ferraro when he did it. And I know he's doing it in the States. I love Mike Johnson. He's really, really good. And he picked out a couple of things. One of the things was, and this happened later in the game, he was talking about Sheldon Keefe. And he was saying that he's like, I just heard Sheldon Keefe yell at 2 players in a way that I have never heard a coach yell at 2 players outside of like Junior. And he was talking about Bertuzzi and Nylander, and he was screaming at them
Like they're 10 years old.
to get them off the ice. Now, I wondered if it was because they were slowly skating towards the bench, which both of them are guilty of,
They're the worst line change team in the league.
or if it was them just staying out too long and he's trying to get a new line out there. Fresh legs. I don't know which it was.
It's probably both. Listen, Nylander, incredible player.
Dogs it to the bench.
He's one of the worst line changing players I've ever seen in my entire life. He's slow. He's slow. He stops skating at least 10 feet before he gets to the bench. And I'm not saying skate full speed and yeet yourself over the bench like a friggin' video game, but like have some purpose, for God's sake.
Well, they can stop on a dime, these NHL players. So you can actually keep skating and then stop right at the
they're
bench.
quite good.
Yeah.
at this whole skating
Edge
thing.
work.
Yes,
It's wild.
They're rather known for it. No, watch it, and you'll notice it a lot more if you go to the games. Like I love going to a game every now and then so I can really appreciate the stuff that I miss on TV. And I'm a big enough of a nerd that
You're watching.
I really appreciate that. You know who I gained a new appreciation for in Sweden was I think Nick Robertson got into at least one of those games. Zoom.
I love watching him play.
When he comes off of the bench, when he's back onto the bench, and I mean he probably plays 20-second shifts under Sheldon Keefe, so maybe that's why. But like there's an effort there. It's that 1% and 2% that the Leafs have lacked for years. The 1% and 2% that separates them from the teams that beat them in the playoffs every year. It's not just like toughness is the crutch that we lean on. It's stuff like that. Little things like that. The little things like Pontus Holmberg on the Oilers game-winning goal. Looked like he was doing his job, didn't look guilty of anything, and then you break it down afterward. It's like you're standing maybe 5 feet away from where you should have been. It wasn't a cardinal sin, but it ultimately led to the goal.
I'm sorry, but
Those little things.
Are you talking about new Zach Hyman?
Yeah, 7 points in 7 games.
Yeah. Pontus Holmberg has 7 points in 7 games.
And for God's sake, that's the bar.
Yep.
Like, do we think Pontus Holmberg is the best left wing the Leafs have?
No.
I don't know if he's the 5th best
Just
left
work-
wing the Leafs have.
Just work hard out there. Just go into the corners. Dig the puck out. That's
Your
all you
job.
need to do.
Just do your job. Like, he's trying to, like, Tyler Bertuzzi has gone up and down for me this season. He's spent a fortune. He swung and
You
missed.
mean in his next contract?
Yeah, he's swung and missed on this deal. He only got a 1-year 5.5. And the big long-term deal that might have been offered to him this summer, where'd it go?
Yeah.
Where'd it go? He's got 6 goals, man. Like 6 goals in a relatively healthy season.
Mm-hmm.
He's spending a fortune. And like, who's your competition for that top line spot that was his? He started the season with Matthews and Marner.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your competition? A rookie who's also in the doghouse, by the way, and
Robertson.
Matthew Nyes.
Oh, no,
Matthew
Nyes.
Nyes.
Yeah.
And then there's Robertson, who's you ever seen a brick doghouse? Like he's got like they put a foundation down on that thing.
He's gonna have to dig under.
They got a basement, plumbing. It's nice. It's nice in there. I mean, you got to set up for the winter. It's winterized. Yarncroke's not on the left wing anymore. Domi's not being used on the wing anymore. Bobby McMahon was a call-up. And then you have Pontus Holmberg, who they're like, hey, you shoot left, right?
Right.
How aren't you on that line? How aren't you with... He played some shifts with Tavares last night. It was a little touch and go. How aren't you this team's top line left winger? How don't you have 40,000 points playing with those 2 freaks?
Well, and the way Auston is playing, the way Mitch has picked it up. The last, like, I know
Mitch had a fucking great game.
he had a great game. And if
game.
you look at his last 10 games, he's been on fire. He's got crazy
His
points.
counting stats have been very good.
Yeah.
There's been
So
some things to
with
left
the
there.
with the Pontus Holmberg thing, the way Sheldon Keefe is setting up everybody with these lineups isn't how he plays them during the game. Because like Pontus Holmberg, anytime he's on the ice, he's with Matthews and Marner, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Matthews and Marner are always long shifting. So Pontus Holmberg last night had 11 minutes of ice time. Tyler Bertuzzi had 17 minutes of ice time.
Wow.
So the way Sheldon Keefe sets up the lines is, that's how you'll go out. But once we're doing these changes, Pontus Holmberg isn't out there as a first-line winger.
Right.
He's playing 11 minutes of ice time.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's fair.
here's my question.
But he's only playing with Matthews and Marner during those 11 minutes.
Here's my question. Do the players hate that?
Yes, 100%.
They-
If you talk to any NHLer, what they like to do is show up to the rink. They don't have to look at the board because they know where they're playing.
Yeah, like no wonder you lead the league in too many men on the ice. It's been a while, which means we're going to get one tomorrow.
It's been like 5 games.
Yeah, I know. But like no wonder you get so many. Like it looks like the fucking Zodiac killer. Like every time you look at the lines and what they're going to send out there. Like I know other teams with elite players have special lines, but the guy regularly playing on your top line 5-on-5 played 11 minutes and wasn't benched.
Yep.
No, that's just how he was deployed.
And late in the game, when they got to shut it down, they're like, we'll put Gregor with Matthews and Marner. We'll put Yarncroke with... Like, bless the coaching staff for this galaxy brain stuff that makes it look like they're working real hard. It would be lovely, and I think welcome by all involved, if they didn't have to do that.
Well, they're obviously going to have to make some sort of changes. I wonder... I mean, Bertuzzi had, there's a lot of people that are hard on the guy, and I think rightfully so, but there have been some really great games from this person, and he has been snake bitten. There's no question. I wonder if some other team at the trade deadline goes, we'll give you value for value.
I really just don't.
He's a UFA, so like it's
well, he's not going to get traded to Boston. At least it won't do that.
Yeah, but maybe it's a flippy.
It'd have to be a move where you think you're upgrading your team, right? So it'd be interesting if there's a player out there for that, because it'd be with a contender who you're just swapping issues with, I guess. But with just to finish off that Pontus Holmberg point, you're very right about, hey, when the game is on the line, he's not on the ice. When during the third period, when they had their 1-goal lead for the rest of the game, Pontus Holmberg had 3 shifts.
Okay.
The entire third period. And it's just so strange about like, hey, you're going to organize your lines the day of the game. You're going to say he's our first line left winger. But when the game actually matters, he's only going to see the ice 3 times.
What happened the previous game? They put him out there in the final minutes of the game, blew his assignment, they lost the game.
So maybe that should be a sign that he shouldn't be your first line left winger.
Yeah, but he's trying to make a point. He's trying to make a point, man. Like, again, I'll say it every show.
Are there other ways to make points?
This man...
Besides ruining your hockey team?
You know, Jesse, that's a great question.
I would love an answer.
This man, I think, must punch the air every time he's in a room by himself, scream through the windshield, goes to church and lights 1,000 candles. Like, he's fighting for Sheldon Keefe. I know a lot of people don't love the job he's doing. That man is fighting for his frigging life. Every time he steps behind that bench, he might as well go, BRRAAAD! Pontus Holmberg's on the top line, Brad! He's on the top line, and I'm right to do it! BRRRAAD! Is Brendan next? I see you! You're 6'3", I can see you!
Oh my God.
Give me someone!
I mean, the real quote was before the game, we're at game 42 and I still don't know who I can trust.
Yeah.
Yes.
You might want to wipe your chin, man.
I want to.
No, that's a really... Adam, what was the quote?
He said, we're at game 42 and I'm still not sure who I can rely on, I believe is the quote.
Okay, do you want me to translate that?
Please.
Next to me! Fuck!
So,
with that, it reminds me of a team that I love and I favor, the New York Rangers. And last season, Gerard Gallant, there's 82 games in a year. Gerard Gallant might have played 400 different line combinations.
Oh.
You know, against every game, every single moment. You never knew what line anybody was going to be on, and it messed up Lafreniere and that whole kids line, and everybody got sick of it. And what's the thing about Gerard Gallant? He's 2 years as a head coach, and then you got to kick him out because everybody gets sick of it.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that drive people crazy is how many different line combinations every single game. The lineup is completely different, and we're seeing the same thing as Sheldon Keefe. And we've seen this before. Like, he loves doing. He did this last year in January. And this is his January thing where he just messes up the lines, and every game it's different. And I wonder how long you can just keep doing this every single season. It's been so many years of this.
Well, this goes back to every friggin' conversation we have about this team. This is what happens when you pay 4 guys everything. And then, I mean, maybe Sheldon just rotates a bunch of randoms in there because that's what the rest of the roster is, a bunch of randoms. That's what it is, man. It sucks. BRRRAAD! He's screaming it from the rooftop.
Yep.
And like to say the new guys too. If I'm Brad, I'm going, watch your fucking mouth. Watch your words.
Well, I think, what is Brad going to say to that? Like I said last episode, and again, they won last night. What does he have to point to that's a win?
Brad Treliving? Okay.
Simon Benoit?
Remember earlier in the season, we were talking about what his best signing was, and we landed on Noah Gregor. Crumple.
Oh man, he's been bad.
So throw that
Max
behind
Domi.
it. He got an assist.
I
by
like.
accident.
I like what Max Domi brings. I know there are rewards to Max's game, but I am all the way on Max Domi. He makes things happen.
I'm
good with that.
He scored 70 points in this league.
Yeah.
and
Max Domi had 2 breakaways last night.
Yeah, no, I like Max. I think Max to me is the best one.
Yes.
Simon Benoit is the second best one, but Ryan Reeves, woo,
Oh, you missed a big one.
Klingberg, woo.
You missed a big one. Their season would be cooked without him. Martin Jones.
Great. You know what? That's the number one.
It's got to be. Yeah. Like, I've loved Benoit, and it's not like I'm saying Domi's been bad. I know Sheldon doesn't trust him in the slightest, but it's not like he's been bad. Their season would be absolutely cooked. They probably wouldn't be in a playoff.
But is it a win to say that Martin Jones saved your season? Like, this is my point, is that even Martin Jones being your best signing is not a good look. Yeah.
Martin Jones, Brad!
And it's not that he could have accounted for Ilya Samsonov. It's because no other player on this roster has performed not just to expectation, like not above expectation. They haven't performed to expectation.
No,
like nothing. And that's where it gets frustrating because like last night, first period sucked. But at the end of the first period, what happens? Noah Gregor, you pick that crumpled piece of paper up, that causes a turnover.
Well,
causes a turnover, Steven.
Yeah, causes 2 turnovers, one of his own doing.
But he got it back.
He got it back. And Mike
Johnson
was hilarious breaking that play down because he's like, he might have got benched. Because he didn't have a good play. And then that happened.
It's not sometimes that we fall. It's how we get up.
Damn.
Okay?
Damn, bro.
I stole that from the first Batman movie.
Damn, that was good.
With Christian Bale. All right?
Shit.
And so Noah Gregor was like, wow, thank you, Batman's dad. I'm going to pass it to the real Batman, which is Auston Matthews.
Wow.
So he comes in, he scores, there's 5 minutes left, and they go in, and it's not 2-0, it's 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
And that, for whatever reason, is enough. And Auston had an unbelievable second period.
He did, and he's getting all the flowers today because of the hat trick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to take those flowers away.
Yes, you are.
He's the best goal scorer in sports. Well, he's the best goal scorer in hockey, definitely.
This sport.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland might be the best goal scorer in sports, but
no, Auston Matthews is the best soccer player in the world.
Yep.
Like it's weird. It's weird having to justify saying you might be the 3rd best player in the world because that's an insult. He's definitely the best goal scorer in the world. Mm-hmm. But the guy I want to give some flowers to, because we've been giving him hell, and I think he's deserved it, but he hustled his ass off in this game. And on top of the hustle, he made some elite plays. Mitch Marner.
Yeah, he's been great.
He was fucking great. And I don't remember if he was the one who got Matthews the pass for the second, but the give and go with him and Willie.
Crazy how that pass making it through. I don't know how that got it. That was like NHL 15.
Neither of those passes should have got through.
No.
The Marner to Willie and Willie to Marner. Oh, that was sick. That was friggin' sick. And then the 4th goal is Dan Vladar is not very good. But
I was surprised they didn't start Markstrom. Weren't you guys?
Well, that's where the Leafs are at right now. You look to get your backup some starts, and you go, well, we're playing a team that's playing real shitty.
And almost gave up the lead. And actually did give up the lead, except for the fact that that goal was called back on a Blake Coleman hand pass. Now, I saw Jermaine Franklin tweeting about it today. I saw some Calgary fans pissed. Actually, most of them got it. Most of them were like, well, I hate it, but it is a rule. The one thing I'll say about that rule is this, okay? You don't have to like the rule. There's plenty of rules I don't like. It's clear.
Yeah, don't
you know what's not
direct
clear?
the puck with your hand.
You can't direct the puck with your hand unless it's to yourself. Right?
Yes.
That's the rule. Now, explain goaltender interference. That's right, you can't. But at least you can explain a hand pass to someone, whether it's intentional or not. The reality is, just like kicking, hand passes they're not legal. And if you have an issue with it, you got to take that up with the NHL. I don't think that they should be legal. If I was a Leaf fan, I'd be pissed about it, but at the end of the day, it is the rule.
I think
Hard to get that mad.
I think I know what's going on, and then reviews happen, and I'm like, oh.
Now,
I'm out of my depth.
The one that confused
The Liljegren
me,
one.
The Liljegren one confused me because was it Sharangovich? Who scored that?
Mangiapane.
Mangiapane kicks, and then it goes off of Liljegren and goes in. And initially, Mike Johnson's like, well, it doesn't matter. It's a kick, even if it goes off the player. And I was like, that doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, if it was accidentally off of Liljegren and then into the net, then that's a kick into the net. But
he handled
Liljegren
it.
played the puck.
It, yes.
Yeah, is what the ruling was. So which makes total sense.
I
And
don't
Adam,
hate
just to correct you on the Markstrom stuff, he didn't play because he's day-to-day.
Oh,
That's why they called up Dustin Wolf the other day, because
now
Markstrom...
that's a guy I would have liked to see. I want to see him.
Wolf?
Yeah, I like him.
Okay, yeah.
I think he's their starter of the future. I like him. I also think the Wranglers have the best jersey in hockey.
And name.
Yeah, it's a great name, but their jerseys are.
What is it? I don't know. What
Have you never seen a Wranglers jersey?
Wrangler?
It looks like a Flames jersey, but it looks like an Atlanta Flames jersey, and it's very cool.
Are the Swamp Rabbits still a thing?
I don't know.
I don't even know where
The Solar Bears had a cool one, but like the Wranglers are like a great old school yellow, red, and white jersey, like perfect 70s, 80s colors, man.
This guy?
That's a great fucking jersey right there. Like that is, I've always wanted one. They're so cool.
Where do they play?
What's that? Calgary.
Oh, they're the Calgary Wranglers.
Yeah, I guess it used to be Abbott.
I thought that was sarcasm.
No. I know they're the Flames farm team. They've moved 1,000 times.
Right,
in
right,
my
right.
Used to be the
defense.
No,
Abbotsford
they're
Heat.
back in Calgary.
They're back in
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
they weren't they in Abbotsford for a
I
while?
just
Yes,
said that.
you just said that.
Oh.
I just say that.
Stockton.
Abbotsford-
And Evan Bouchard Norris, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Adam just...
for fuck's sake.
Listen, I know we don't know everything, but we know something. Those are cool jerseys, man. Those are so.
Yeah, no,
cool.
I don't think you're wrong at all. Those are awesome
Look at
jerseys.
I
look at
just
the
love the
alternate
colors.
there too.
That to
Yeah,
me
the
is like,
horsey
why-
ones?
Yeah,
The horsey ones.
I still like the W better, but the
I'm
horse
gonna
is cool.
act the fuck up. Look at that shit.
Here's my question: why did the Wranglers get the cooler jersey than the Flames? That's a better jersey.
How dare you?
The Flames should go back to yellow, red, and white.
AHL
Little
teams
light.
generally have better jerseys.
They do.
No.
There's a great collection of jerseys down in the A.
They
if,
do.
If we had never seen the Flaming Sea before, we would say it's the best logo ever. I think it's familiarity.
It's for me. It's not that. I love the Flaming Sea, and I also love that when they used to give the captain another Flaming Sea in the 90s.
Yeah.
So the captain
Yes.
was also.
Yeah.
I thought that was
The
sick.
sea was on fire.
Go back
yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
But I want that color combination is clean, baby. That's
the
so
biggest
nice.
fuck off sea in the league.
Yeah.
I also like how the flame at the bottom of the W looks exactly like Charmander's.
It does.
It does, yeah.
Photoshop it.
He's inspiration.
Yeah.
Now, the video coaches saved the day,
Mhm.
and Mike Stevens tweeted about it. But there's a very cool story with the video coaches because these guys, first off, they've been ice cold. Like they've been
Sam
amazing.
Kim, Jordan Bean.
Yes.
Sam Kim, Jordan Bean. And Jordan Bean was a mascot for the Islanders, was he not?
No, Jordan Bean. No, you're thinking of Sam Kim.
Sam Kim. was.
Jordan Bean. I believe I used to work with his wife, and Sam Kim used to be Sparky the Dragon for the New York Islanders.
Is that still their mascot, by the way?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sparky? Okay.
He's good in the video games.
Okay. He's good in the video
He's good
game.
in the video games where you can play as the mascot. No, it's like that is a true follow your dreams thing. Like,
Yeah.
you always hear about he started in the mailroom and then he worked his way up to the boardroom. It's hard. It's hard to make happen, but not a lot of people working in an NHL. I don't know if that's front office. I would say coaching staff
Mm-hmm.
can say they were a mascot at one point. There was a great photo I saw. I think it was an Athletic article. The video coach for the Capitals, I think, once served as the emergency backup as well.
Do you know
And there's him on a laptop wearing full pads.
Do you know the Detroit Lions general manager started as a PR intern for them 18 years ago? Or not for them, for the Rams, I think. For the Rams. I think.
No, never heard of that in my life.
Yeah. So when they won their first playoff game in 30 years, you can imagine how excited he was.
You just never know, man.
Well, no, this is the thing. Do chase your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know, like right now, it's like, wow, they must seem like there's a mystique around people in those positions of power in hockey and in any sport. But the reality is that at one point they knew as little as anybody else about the sport and they just learned it.
Yeah.
I love meeting people who have it and knowing that they have it right away. When I worked for Junior Hockey Magazine, that was the show I did with Gino Reda.
Mm-hmm.
I had to train the new guy. And we got about 5 minutes into training the new guy where I was like, he already knows more than me. There's no point in me trading him. and it was Jeff Azzopardi who went on to do Tim and Sid for God knows how.
Yeah.
So like right away, and like he knew too.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, this guy's fucking clueless. There's a reason I'm not behind the scenes anymore. I wasn't very good at it.
With Jordan Bean, that's somebody who grew up in Pickering, worked for the Kitchener Rangers, worked his way up, and video coached a long time in the Leafs. But one thing that's interesting about his journey through hockey, and I think might be something Adam Wilde can look into, he interned at Octagon.
Cool.
No way.
So he was an intern at Octagon at one point.
Who do we know there?
If Alan Walsh, who is an agent at Octagon,
Never heard of him.
might know Jordan Bean, and if he might be a guest on a future Agent Provocateur one day.
Do you think?
I think that would be a fascinating conversation.
Could he be the first noted Alan Walsh intern?
Maybe.
We have those shirts.
Let's make them.
Let's make
them. So the video coaches have been great this year. It did win them the game, and Marner and Matthews being great. That's what you need. Like, people are like, well, what are they going to do? They have to keep relying on these guys. Yeah, that's kind of how they built the team.
Yeah.
I don't know if he picked up a point, but I thought Tavares played his best game in at least a week too.
And again, Tavares, the hate around Tavares is always so aggressive because of the cap hit. But this guy, there are some regression things.
Listen, it's getting to the point where it's not great.
The shooting percentage is down, but I think it's a little still overblown. And even I was on him last episode, but I do think there's something there. He's going to be fine the next year and a half. Don't fret.
The effort was 100% there yesterday. It was not a Mona Lisa. It was not a perfect game, but the hustle was there, and that game was what is it? Hard work and talent meeting each other.
Hard work. Yeah, height doesn't measure heart, I think.
I don't think that's
Marcus
I think that's what it was, right?
New York Yankees legend Marcus Stroman. Yo, him in New York is going to be hilarious.
Yeah, well, because he never wanted to be a Met, right? So he's going to be finally a Yankee.
Adam and I have a long saga with Marcus Stroman.
Just that
from him blocking the fan 590.
Yeah.
All
that and also we just found his Twitter account interesting for years, and everybody was like, "Is everybody just going to ignore the fact that this guy seems like a lunatic?" Like I don't know what to say.
Just everyone's against him.
And he's just like me on his Twitter account. All of a sudden, me.
Everyone's against him. He wakes up in the morning and looks at the box of Lucky Charms. Fuck you staring at.
Yeah, even his gardener's like, I don't want you to succeed, Marcus. It's wild, man. What a wild guy. So I mean, you take away from this game that it was an exciting, fun game. It was also cool to see Matthews get a hat trick. It was also cool to see Leaf fans in Calgary chanting MVP, because I'm not even sure they would do that in Toronto.
And just litter the ice with hats.
Yeah.
I was wondering this. Okay, so an opposing team gets a hat trick in the opposing team, one of their players gets a hat trick. How many buildings would get hats?
Well,
are the Leafs the Leafs are at they clearly can do it. How many other teams can do that?
I would say more than half a dozen hats, because every building's going to have one guy like, this is my time to shine.
We're talking the ice crew needs to get 2 bags.
Right.
Yeah.
How
many teams in the league can do that?
I think a lot of Canadian markets.
Mm-hmm.
Montreal fans a little.
Yeah, Montreal.
Yeah. Could
maybe
Rangers at Philly?
I think when
Philly sucked, because they're good this year.
Within the Metro.
Yeah. Jersey at Madison Square Garden. Would they get hats?
Yeah.
Are there enough Jersey fans that go to Rangers games where if Hughes puts a hat trick, he'd get hats?
I think once you start going west and the commute is longer than a subway ride, it gets really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many Stars hats you're seeing in
Stamkos
Vegas.
hat trick in Amalie.
Wait, sorry. Say that again?
Stamkos at Florida. Hat trick.
Amelie's
Tampa. I did that backwards. Yeah. In Florida, what's their arena called? They just had the All-Star game.
I don't know. Hang on. Panthers.
The Pantheon.
Not Southwest is where
Amarant Bank Arena.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's a local bank in I think the Southwest or Southeast United States.
Stamkos gets a hat trick against the Panthers. Does he get hats?
I guess we'll find out, because he's having a great season, right, Adam?
Listen, Stammer the 5-on-5 numbers are not great. They're just not. They're not.
No, I think it'd be interesting to go through. I think it's like a handful. It's very small number.
Yeah, I don't.
It was a pretty special moment. Is all I was trying to get to.
Agreed, and I think you're right. Like if you'll see it regionally. Like there'll be a lot of Rangers fans that go to the island, or they'll go on the island. Excuse me. They'll go to Philly. They'll go to New Jersey or whatever. But are you going to see a swath of New York Rangers fans in Anaheim?
This is across the country.
I think it's across the
hats.
league. There are
That's
Leafs
so
fans
good.
everywhere.
No, the travel. I'm talking about
the
like
travel. Yeah,
Toronto to Calgary isn't like from Toronto to Ottawa.
It's like a 3-hour flight.
And he got hats. That's fucking cool.
Well, I'll tell you, when I was there, lived in Calgary, and the Leafs got the one time I was there for a Leafs game. They got absolutely run over. Like, they were a fucking terrible team. It was so embarrassing. But I showed up with my Leafs jersey, and my girlfriend showed up with hers, and we went, and half the arena is Leaf fans. And it's because there's a lot of people in Calgary who are from Toronto or from the East Coast, right? So if you grow up on the East Coast of Canada, a lot of times, sadly, you have to leave to go get work in the West. And so they'll bring their Habs jersey or their Leafs jersey or their Bruins jersey with them. Right, there's a lot of Bruins fans in the East too, so we can't forget about that.
Yes,
It's right there,
And
Bobby Orr,
Oshawa,
well, of course, yeah. You know what's interesting about Bobby Orr because there's a ton of Bruins fans because of him in Oshawa.
yes,
There are not a ton of Flyers fans because of Eric Lindros in Oshawa.
right. And like even Mark Savard, who had his jersey retired in Oshawa. It's like, oh yeah, Bobby Orr, and oh yeah, Mark Savard, and yeah, sure, him too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And
So
I
Bobby's
love both
just on
those
that
guys.
level.
Yeah.
He was so.
He's transcendent. He's one of the top 5 players to ever play. You know, like it's just another, and was the best player in the world for
a decade until his
long time. Like Lindros won MVP one time. Bobby Orr was the best player for over half a decade.
Now, I saw something on the internet, and I wanted to bring it up to you. I'm so glad we. Hang on.
Is it Paul McCartney getting run over?
It is
on
not
Abbey
Paul
Road?
McCartney.
Okay.
Can you name the player? So here's what's crazy about Bobby Orr. Okay?
That's something that happened.
Yes.
Bobby Orr won the Norris Trophy from 1967-68 all the way through to 74-75. Can you name the player that won it before him and the player that won it after him? So for 8 years, he won it every year. You have a chance. You have a chance at the 75-76 player. I don't think you have a chance at the 66-67 player.
76 has to be Larry Robinson.
No, he's 70. He's 77.
Fuck. Oh no.
But another really good player, another great defenseman, all-timer.
That's too early for Salming, isn't it?
No, Salming was playing, but Salming never won it.
Wow, really?
No, he never won the Norris. I don't think any Leaf ever has won the Norris, if I'm not mistaken. Unless I'm losing my mind. Yeah, I don't think we have. No Leaf ever has won the Norris.
Is that too early for Dennis Potvin?
It is Dennis Potvin.
Hey, there you go.
Now, 1966-67, the year of our Lord, the Leafs' last cup.
Yeah, this is pretty difficult.
And I'll even narrow it down because there's only 6 teams. It was a New York Ranger, and his name was not Adam Fox, Jesse, so you can't guess him.
Jacob Trouba.
Jake Trouba, stop it.
I forget his name. What is it?
Harry Howell.
Oh, that was not my guess. All
Harry Howell had 40 points in 70 games that year.
Oh,
Harry Howell. Now, Bobby Orr, when he won it, and I'm just going to pull up his stats because, they're kind of goofy and stuff. So Harry Howell won it in 66, 67. Bobby Orr came into the league and in 46 games the next year had 31 points. And then 64 and 67. And then in 1969, 1970, he had 120 points in 76 games.
he's
33 goals.
Producer Drew keeps pointing out all the stats that show Cale Makar ahead of Bobby Orr's pace. But there's going to come a point in the very near future where Bobby Orr from the past is just going to go, see ya! Completely leave him behind. Completely leave him in the dust.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, maybe not.
Cale Makar could put up 80 points, and
Yeah.
you'd be like, holy shit, that's the best player in the world. And Bobby Orr will beat him by like 45 points.
Yeah, he's like, I had 120 that season. But then there's going to come a point where Cale Makar just goes to the moon because Bobby Orr didn't play very long.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Bobby Orr, it's crazy how.
He'll beat them in the marathon.
Yes.
He'll beat them in the marathon,
Yeah.
assuming he can stay healthy as well. Now, I got another one for you guys.
Sure.
Okay, so Auston Matthews had a multi-goal game last night. It was the 71st of his career.
Wow.
It also was his game-winning goal. Remember, he won his last goal won them the game.
Yes.
He has now recorded the third most game-winning goals in Maple Leafs history with 56. Can you name 4, 2, and 1 on that list?
Sundin.
So he passed somebody. Sundin is number 1. How
Yeah.
many does he have? Just guess.
And what's Matthews?
Matthews is at 56.
73.
79. Really good, Jesse.
Ooh.
Okay. Can you name the other two? They're absolute studs. Crazy names.
Noah Gregor.
Not Noah Gregor. Not yet.
Damn it.
Mahovlich?
Mahovlich is 4.
Oh!
Hey.
And Matthews just passed him, so it's a bit of a cheat code.
Oh,
Matthews
right.
had 56, so he's at 55.
The other great M name, Mikheyev.
Stop it. You're out of control today. I know it's Friday.
No, he wasn't a Leaf long enough.
Yeah, Mikheyev wasn't a Leaf long enough. Yeah.
Shut up. I would say Rick Vive, but the Leafs didn't win a ton of games.
No, they didn't.
That's a good point
It
in
is a
this
good point.
conversation. Is you had to win the games to
You had
get a
to win the
game-winning
game.
goal.
Yeah.
Like, game-winning goal is kind of arbitrary because you could score a game-winning goal in the first minute.
Yes,
Technically.
yes, and then you win 1-0. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever, nothing.
George Armstrong was there so long. George Armstrong?
It's not George Armstrong, but a good guess. It's the other guy who's also great. And you're going to be mad that you didn't name him.
Hap day or babe die.
Not those guys. A little bit later, but not too late.
Oh, you moron. Daryl Sittler.
Nope. Dave Keelan. So 63 goals for Dave Keelan. 63 of them were game winners in his
Wow.
career. Now, I thought that was interesting, and I also thought that you'd want to know that Matthews is directly behind Dave Keelan for third in Leaf scoring all time. And we brought this up before, but we're now up to 336 goals for Matthews. Keelan, over the course of his career, had 365. Auston Matthews has played 523 games, all with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Dave Keelan with the Toronto Maple Leafs played 1,062.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy what's happening.
Oh,
right now.
my
yeah.
God.
And by the way, Auston Matthews' average ice time as a Toronto Maple Leaf thus far, I'm not talking about just this season, I'm talking about over the course of his career. Guess.
Under 20 minutes.
Under 20 minutes, 1943.
Wow.
That's his average ice time over the course of his career. That shows you how little Babcock played him, right?
Oh, my God.
Limited his ice time. So
Oh, Adam.
it's pain.
It's Friday. Don't make me.
I know.
Don't.
I know. Again, a team hired that guy this season.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess we can kind of stop there. I wanted to make sure we hit Merzlikins. I wanted to make sure we hit the Oilers, and I want to make sure we talked about the Leafs. I thought the Flames, just want to quickly talk about that. First off,
Do we talk about the Wranglers jersey?
we did talk about the Wranglers jersey. I had that penciled in there. For the Flames side, I thought that they played the Leafs really well. Of course, Kadri's going to score. You always bet the guy to score, but Huberdeau getting 2 assists in the first period's got to feel good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I got to apologize to Oilers fans because I said Darnell Nurse has the worst contract in the league. And they were like, oh, Huberdeau, dude. And I was like, oh, maybe you're right. And then he's like, hey, Steve, fuck you. And he picked up 2 points.
Yep, and that's just how it goes.
That's just how it goes, man.
Playing the Leafs, instant points. Can we do a press conference? We have time?
Yeah. Let's do something quick.
All right. Hey, this weekend, check out Drew and Stu. And by the way,
Not just this weekend.
Every
2 times a week on your favorite podcast app
Why?
or on our YouTube channel.
why, Jesse? Why are we talking about them on our show?
Yeah, I know. It's screw Drew, but
I agree.
Cam's got great bets.
That's right. And
Yeah.
listen,
They cover the NFL. They cover the NFL playoffs. It's like the best time of the year for the NFL. And you come in 2 times a week. Their best bets and just analysis from the games.
okay, now who's more likely to bet pro Chiefs? Drew or Stu?
Drew is on this weekend in particular. Drew's on the Chiefs. I think it's when you're a fan of a team because he's a huge Bills fan and you hedge on your team. So you're like, hey, I know I want the Florida Panthers to win, but you're a Leafs fan, so you take the Florida Panthers. So either outcome, you're either right on your bet or you're a team you root for.
I can't do
wins,
that. I
you know?
cannot bet against my own team.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I don't know how he does it.
That's trying to have your cake and eat it too.
Oh, yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
dare
Trying
you?
to have your cake and eat it, Drew.
I wanna put that bet through a flaming table.
If you're an NFL fan, it's a must listen show.
Yeah, Drew and Stu, check it out on SDPN.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
We have 2 guessing games to play. One is an oldie and a very goodie, and we're going to bring it back for today. And then the other is where we're going this weekend. We got to guess the location. So let's start with that. This weekend, where are we going?
Kingston, Jamaica, to do a live show at a pool bar. That'll be mostly pee.
Daiquiris everywhere.
Daiquiris, yes.
Yes.
All right.
And little
So,
umbrellas.
Kingston, Ontario.
Sorry, Jesse, go ahead.
The Kingston Frontenacs. This is your first guessing game. They play in what building?
So it used to be the K-Rock Center. And I remember that because I remember thinking it was so cool that there was a radio station in the arena. But I don't know what the name of it is now. And I don't believe they're partnered with Rogers Radio anymore. They're now with Bell Media.
They didn't rename the building after Gord Downey. It's the street that the building's on, right? I'm pretty sure the
I think
street
so.
that the oh man. What's it called?
It's called the New Orleans Sinkin Building.
And they don't want to swim.
That's right.
They play at the Leon Center. Very, very normal name, right?
Yeah.
That name is not going to last.
Oh, it's going to change.
It's going to change. And Kingston has decided to take on a new sponsor. And the new name of their arena will
the
be
SDPN Center.
Slush Puppy Palace.
No way. No way. That's awesome. Are you serious?
Slush Puppy Place, to be specific. It is not actually
Now, for
Palace.
anybody that doesn't know what Slush Puppy is, Jesse.
It is a fantastic beverage.
That's right. It's like the gas station. It's your Slurpee.
Slush Puppy Canada has made the winning bid to take over naming rights of what is currently called the Leon Center, according to an announcement from the city and the Kingston Frontenacs on Wednesday. This was back in December.
Sick. I love that.
That means, with city council approval, the arena will become known as Slush Puppy Place.
And it's a proposed 15-year agreement, $135,000 a year.
Yeah. The Kingston Frontenacs
Lot
are
of money.
excited to work alongside the Slush Puppy team, as the new naming right partner of our home arena.
Nickname the Dog Pound.
I think that is so much fun. And in Gatineau, they already have a Slush Puppy Place. This will be the second arena.
Wow.
What are they, Rogers? Taking over everything?
Slush Puppy Place, Slush Puppy Arena, Slush
this will
Puppy
be-
Center.
This will be the second arena in like 2 provinces.
Wow. It's good for Slush Puppy.
Slush Puppy's taking
Let's
over,
go,
you guys.
Slush Puppy.
Friggin' sales rep.
Can we get Slush Puppy?
I
as
would
a
love for
sponsor
Slush-
on this show?
I would love to be the SDP sponsored by Slush Puppy.
That would be incredible.
SD Slush Puppy.
That's right.
Let me pull up.
We're already
Slush
in it.
Puppies,
Wow.
so everybody knows.
That's cool.
Here's a promotion. Forget white ice. It's just dyed blue and purple
blue and red.
and red. There you go. You can't tell where any of the friggin' lines are. No, the lines are white.
Oh,
shit.
I like that.
Why haven't they hired me? Get them on the phone. Get them on the phone. So that we can
By the way,
more trips to the dog.
Did you see last night that the Flames fans were booing the linesman for not dropping the puck?
No,
Third
but
period?
good for them.
Just saying.
Are they your favorites? Did
Maddie,
you cheer for the Flames?
If you want to bring it up, just in case anybody's not familiar.
Yeah.
This is what the delicious slushy beverage Slush Puppy looks like.
Look how content that dog is.
That dog is the happiest dog in the world because he has a slushy.
In case you're wondering, that's what childhood in Canada looks like right there.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
that
yeah.
color. And by the way, it's not just your tongue, it's your teeth that turn that color too.
And your lips.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Do you remember, did you ever kiss anybody who just had a slush puppy?
No, I wasn't. I didn't have that experience.
there was-
Yeah, no. For any American listeners, it's just any gas station slushy.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Adam, I didn't have that experience, but I did have a level 71 Pidgeot. So
All right, next guessing game is if you're like, we've had so many new listeners over the last couple of years. We haven't done this game in literally years. And it's because they took it away from us. And then they brought it back. And now I think we should bring it back. It is NHL headlines.
oh,
For anybody not familiar, NHL.com always has a punny headline on their website. They used to. And then they brought it back. And we knew, we did this game so much that the guy who wrote the headlines was like on our Reddit and like DM'd us and all this stuff way back when. We're talking like 2017-ish.
I love this.
So the headlines have come back in the last season or so.
What?
They've actually been back for a little bit. So I think we should bring back the game.
Let's go.
Steve and Adam,
Yes.
guess the NHL headline on NHL.com.
Okay.
Got it.
So I give you clues as to what it could be. I give you the game, the team, everything, and you tell me the punny headline that NHL.com came up with. So
That's so cool.
last night, I should say NHL.com is highlighting the Vancouver Canucks.
As they should.
They've had a lot of wins lately. They're doing very well. That's the first. I can give you more if you'd like, but if you have a guess, we can go from there. They beat the Arizona Coyotes last night in Vancouver. A lot of players did well. Let me see. We had a goal from Pettersson. Dakota Joshua scored, who's been a fantastic value
Man, what an
fantasy
ad.
player. What do you think the headline is?
Okay.
By the way, this is very competitive, and it means a lot to Steve and I.
Yeah.
So when
Oh,
you
yeah.
actually get one, you do cartwheel.
You guys usually go like 2 for 10. You know, like every 10 we do, you'll get like 2.
It's hard.
It's so hard and so much fun. Play along with us.
Can I ask if it is a team-based headline or player-based headline?
Because this is our first time back, I'm going to warm you in.
Yeah,
This
please.
Like preseason.
Okay.
Please.
It is a player-based headline.
Oh, nuts. Well, then I'll tell you what my team guess was going to be. Because they have Johnny Canuck, I was going to say Johnny Be Good. Right? That seems like the sort of thing they would do.
Yeah, they do much better.
Yeah, they could do better than that.
Okay.
I think like here's what I'm thinking. Like Pettersson scored, Joshua scored, right? What can we do with those names?
For Pete's sake.
Pettersson, you know?
Guys who had assists. Hoglander, Teddy Bluger, Quinn Hughes, JT Miller.
I think it's just Teddy Bluger with 3 exclamation marks. Who is after Hoglander, sorry? It was
Bluger,
and then
Hughes, Miller.
Hughes.
If Miller had scored a hat trick, it'd be it's Miller time.
No, Jesse's throwing us off. It's got to be Joshua or Pettersson.
Has to be. What was the score in the game, Jesse?
2-1.
Oh, my Joshua?
Demko had a great game. Saved 20 of 21 shots.
No, you're just,
Connor Ingram was also pretty good, but just his team couldn't
He's
put up enough
throwing
goals.
us off.
You're
Now
just-
he's giving us crap.
yeah, you're just adding stuff.
Who cares about Connor Ingram?
I'm giving you all the details
Okay.
so you can guess this headline.
Pistol Pete.
Submit your guesses here, gentlemen. I'm giving you 30 seconds to formulate an answer.
Vancouver, a whale of a game. Or a whale of a time.
I already told you that it had to do with the player.
Shit, it's a
Yeah.
player. Shit. Okay.
I already gave you that hint. Steve, you got anything?
Dakota, oh my gosh.
Adam?
Elias Pettersson. Because he's been saintly with the way he's played.
The NHL headline from today
Let's
is
go.
Just Quinn, baby.
That's a very
Bring it up, Maddie. Bring it up.
Very good.
Just Quinn, baby.
I'm so glad these are back. This
Yeah,
makes me so
we're doing
happy.
this. We're doing this every day
I would
now.
do this every episode.
Yeah,
I love this.
it's fantastic. So I was trying to lead you down the path of the guys who got assists. Quinn didn't score, and I was like, the guys who got assists. And
You
then,
can never trust Jesse with these ones because he does throw in shit. Like you threw the Connor Ingram in there as
wow,
the
of course it's not going to be with Connor.
You lost
Ingram.
the game.
He'll be like, oh, and the goalie made 12 saves.
Maybe that's the headline.
And we're all like, Baker's doesn't.
Shit, that would have been good. No, but a baker's dozen's 13. You idiots. Here, if the headlines guy is listening, this one's for free. If they ever beat the Blues, sing in the Hughes.
So they're
Stop giving away your good material.
their story. They have a story on Quinn Hughes and,
Dirt sheet right
leading the team of the All-Star game.
Here you go.
That's
the,
awesome.
The Canucks got so many All-Stars and all that stuff, and they win last night. So just Quinn, baby.
Now, Steve, how is your live stream going to be against the NHL's number one team if they come in and they act like the NHL's number one team? Because they sure act like it a lot.
I hope it is a great game, and I'm confident that it's going to be a great game. The Leafs have a little palate cleanser here with a nice 2 points over the Calgary Flames. The Leafs and Canucks low-key don't really like each other, and the Canucks are going to bring their best, not just because of the number one team in the league, but because the Leafs ran their show last time.
This will be fun.
They beat them up, and they had a nice comeback win, and the Canucks are going to be very motivated to not let that happen again.
Well, let's have some fun. Okay, so...
And how do we watch that?
On the S Deepin YouTube channel. You're playing me out while I'm in the middle.
Okay, also, I want to say this. Because of our live show on Sunday,
We should have led with this.
we are going to have a day off Monday so we don't die, and then we'll be back Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday next.
But you can hear Sunday's live show on Monday.
Yeah.
You won't miss content on Monday.
Exactly.
Also, tickets to the Rec Room in the description.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.